All right, real quick, let's do this. We've got Kurt Rogers joining us, Bob Koff also, Affordable Interest Mortgage. Again, real quick, folks, the phone number 720. Why can't you get a 303 phone number, by the way?
I have one. It's my cell number.
Oh, okay. So 720-895-0500, Affordable Interest Mortgage. You can tell I'm an old timer because 303 was like the only area code around. Well, you didn't need an area code.
Well, you didn't have to dial the 303.
No, you just dialed the number. And then somebody decided we didn't have enough phone numbers, which we really did, but they said we did, and so then we had to go to this 10-digit thing. I think it's Big Brother.
Oh, it is.
So, all right. Well, speaking of Big Brother, how do we get a better rate? Because that's who controls it is Big Brother. Right?
Yeah.
The feds. I mean, the real Big Brother is the feds.
Yes, and they do control the rates. And you bring up a good point that a lot of people thinking, how do I get a better rate? And there's some little things you can do, but understanding that the government's playing portion of this.
Yes.
Most people have heard about Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are government-owned agencies that control, regulate, and buy most of the loans in the country. And they have
the government buys the loans. Did you hear that, Dan?
Well, I did.
They don't technically buy them. They just make sure they have plenty of money to buy them.
Okay.
But Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have these guidelines that a lot of people are unaware of when you're buying a home.
Okay.
It used to be, well, if I have a 700 score, I'm going to get the greatest rate. That's not true anymore.
Okay.
When the mortgage meltdown happened, they started changing things around. And currently, and this is with every lender that wants to sell to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, these are standard hits to the cost of the loan to get a loan. If you have a 700 score, there's a cost to do that.
Okay.
On a $350,000 loan, that cost is $4,375 because you have a 700 to a 719. Now, if your credit score is a 720 to a 739, that cost goes down to $2,625. Now, you don't see it when you're financing it.
All gets built in.
It all gets built into the rate. So if you're worried about getting a lower rate, your credit score has an effect. In this case, that's $1,700 just by having a 718 to a 721.
Got it.
So those are things. Now, let's say you go to a 740. That cost goes down to $1,750.
Even better.
So if you're doing an 80% loan to value, there's a way of reducing that even more drastically because lenders loan money because of risk. The higher the risk, the more they're going to cost.
Right.
And that's what they have classified because of the meltdown, 700 score at 80%, 720, 740.
Okay.
Now, if you're going to do a 75% loan, those fees go down to $875.
Wow.
Major change with more money because it's a less risk for the banks.
Got it.
And most people don't understand that.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about buying a home or refinancing, you need to see what your score is because there's simple ways to move it 10, 15, 20, 30 points.
Yeah, 20 points isn't a ton, right?
No.
Especially if you're right on that line.
If you're right, yeah. We can move 5, 10 points real simple. There's easy ways to do it.
How long? I mean, I think folks have a misconception that this takes 6 months to happen, but it doesn't, does it?
A week.
1 week, Dan.
1 week.
Wow.
And a lot of people are surprised. They say, well, I can make these changes, but it'll take me 60 days. Well, if I run your credit and I can see the changes and say, okay, and I had a guy the other day, he said, I can't get my credit score up because I can't pay my credit cards down. I said, don't pay them down. Call them up and ask them to raise your limit. If you owe $5,000 on a credit card that's $8,000, your credit score is going to be affected. If you move that to $12,000 or $16,000 as the limit.
Because basically your percentage of balance is less.
Percentage of balance less, your score will move 30 points. And all you got to do is get them to raise the limit, which credit card companies are doing that pretty easy nowadays. So there's ways to move your score. Now, we're not a credit repair.
Right.
Just telling you from 20
You're
years
just
of
giving
doing
advice
this.
on how to improve it.
This is some of the ways that you can do that. Pay your bills on time,
right,
but move your scores. Don't close accounts. If you got an account, keep it open. It's not hurting you.
Even though you're not using it, just go throw the card.
If they want to close it, that's fine. But if you close it, it hurts you.
Because the age of an account matters too, right?
Age of it. You're very good, Dan. You've listened before. Age of an account matters.
So how long you've had it?
How long you've had it. They'll take the average. They'll take all the ages and average them out. And if you've had cards and your average age is 2, your score is X. If it's 5, it goes up 20, 30 points just because of age.
Okay.
So keep those old cards around.
Yeah, and to Kurt's point, even if you're not using them anymore, stick them in, the back of your wallet or a safe. Best bet is just go put them in a safe someplace with your gold coin, by the way, and have all that together out of the way. And if you stop using it and they cancel the card, that's okay, right?
That's okay.
You're not closing it, they are.
Closing it because of lack of activity. Now, every now and then I recommend that you maybe once a year go out and put $100 on a card. make one payment on it, then pay it off or pay it off right away. At least
Okay.
you've used the card. It's not hurting you, and you're showing you know how to manage money. They're not going to give you credit if you don't show them you can manage something.
Okay.
That's one of the toughest things. Some other ways you might want to look at it's getting a better interest rate is going to a shorter to an ARM.
Okay.
And a lot of people say, well, I don't like ARMs because of what they can do.
Right.
Well, over 70% of the people will either sell their home or refinance their home within 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
So if that's going to be the case, especially people that are buying their first home, well, I'm going to be in this house 30 years. Well,
No, you're
the
not.
chances of that are very slim to none.
Yeah, no, you're not.
So if
Because your wants will change.
yeah. Well, you might have
Your
kids.
wants and your needs will change.
Or you might
right?
have a different job. Your needs are going to change. You might get a raise, and this
You
house
might
is
get
too small.
transferred. You might have any number of things happen, right?
So by getting an ARM, you're not only lowering your payment, you're building your equity faster because the lower the rate, the more of your payment is going towards the principal. So you're building your equity quicker with less money. So sometimes reconsider doing that. I'm not advising it everywhere. We currently have an ARM out now that it recasts itself every 5 years.
Okay.
Instead of going up and continually going up,
Okay.
it'll recast at the 5-year intervals and then stay level for another 5 years. And it does that for a total of 15 years. And the recasting part absorbs any kind of rate increase you have because you're recasting it for the 30 years on a less dollar amount.
Got it.
So it really works out very well for you. So there's a couple of different ways of doing that.
Okay. I think one of the misconceptions people have as well is, I'll handle this credit thing myself. I'll run my own report. I'll look at what I need to do, and I don't need any advice. I'm the Lone Ranger. I'll just, me and Tonto, we're going to handle this all on our own.
That's right.
Right? We're
That's
good.
right. Do you know who I am?
Now, do you know who I am?
You know who I am.
So here's
You
the
know who you're
question
talking
for
to.
you, Kurt, is when they run that free credit report, in a lot of cases, that's not even the credit report you're running, and the score might even be different, correct?
That's a retail credit report. The law says that you're entitled to have a retail credit report. The score means absolutely nothing. It's retail. The purpose of it is to educate you as to what is being reported on your bureau.
Okay.
That part of it's good.
Okay.
Please don't think that the score that you're seeing on there
So
matters.
if it says 730,
or 950, it's not real
okay.
because it's retail. The credit reports from the three major companies fall into three categories: revolving, installment, and mortgages.
Okay.
Installment loans or car loans. So when you run a report for a car dealership, you could run 8 or 9 of them. It's not going to change. That's another misconception. Well, every time I run a report, it affects my score. No, it doesn't. If you can run 8 reports in the same 30 days, it's 1. You run 8 mortgage reports, it's 1. If you convert it over 2 months, it's more.
Okay.
But if you do it in a 30-day span, it's 1.
Okay.
But the way they look at it and gauge a revolving account for credit score is different than the installment versus the mortgages, because each person has a different way they want to read that score. So just because a car dealership said you had a 680 doesn't mean your mortgage credit report doesn't show 720
Got it.
because of the way they look at things.
Got it. Okay. All right. Good to know. Well, we'll do this. We'll come right back again. Kurt Rogers, Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. Anything you need from Kurt, call him. He'll meet you anywhere up and down the Front Range. And I've never been to Kurt's office, and he's done lots of things for me. So it's really convenient.
I've been there. It's a nice office.
I wouldn't know.
You don't
Sorry.
have to know.
I don't have
It's
to
a
know.
nice office.
It's a very nice
Okay, it's a
office.
nice office. Good. I'm glad
They
it is.
put me in the office way in the back so that nobody can pay attention to me.
Well, I asked the receptionist that. She said, we have our reasons.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Bristlecone Shooting Range coming up next. It's not just a shooting range. It's an entire event center, and I mean that sincerely. In fact, if you get a membership to Bristlecone and you want to have a birthday party there,
Oh, yeah.
or
Great place.
just want to go by there and smoke cigars.
You
or,
can do that?
Yeah, you can go by and just hang out in their lounge and read a magazine on the way home.
Cool.
You can do anything you want to do in the lounge, and if you plan ahead enough. And she gave us the example one time where some guys wanted to do fantasy football picks. They went in there,
In the lounge?
got all their guys, got in the little, the room I'm talking about,
Oh,
the
yeah.
secret room,
The secret room.
and they could do all that right there. So it's really worth having a membership, and it's not that expensive. So ask about the memberships today, 303-985-0989, bristleconeshooting.com. Tell them Rush to Reason sent you.
Bristlecone Shooting Training and Retail Center caters to all levels of shooters, from the beginner who's never held a gun to the firearm enthusiast like John Rush, who owns more guns than he'd like to admit. At Bristlecone, beginners become masters, while masters continue to build and maintain their skills. On any given day at Bristlecone, you may find a beginner attending an intro to pistol class, while a master hones his reflexes in the virtual simulator. Side by side at the range, you might see a mother teaching her 10-year-old daughter how to load a .22, while a 70-year-old man in the next lane practices his quick draw from a holster. In the same week, owners Jacqueline and Brian Clark could host a youth competition and a USPSA or GSSF league match. Whether you want to enjoy the sport of shooting or develop the skill of self-defense, Bristlecone Shooting Training and Retail Center has something for you. Stop by the range in Lakewood, near the corner of Alameda and Union today.
All right, Kevin Flesh, FleshLawFirm.com coming up next. And if you're a motorcycle rider, which there's a lot of guys out now that are, even with the rain we've had, you may still be out riding your cycle, and this weekend will be beautiful. If you're a cycle rider and you find yourself in an accident and you need some help, Kevin is your guy. It's FleshLawFirm.com, 303-806-8886. Tell them Rush to Reason sent you.
I was out on my motorcycle, and a car came out of nowhere and hit me, and I was hurt bad. My life was instantly turned upside down. I can't go to work. My bike was totaled. I had some savings, but that's all gone. And on top of all that, the person who hit me didn't have any insurance at all. I just don't know what to do.
After you've been in a motorcycle accident, call Kevin Flesh at Flesh Law. He will answer all of your questions. Kevin Flesh will help you determine if you are entitled to compensation for your pain and suffering. And he has the experience and the knowledge to navigate the complicated maze created by the insurance company designed to minimize your claim. Call Kevin Flesh of Flesh Law at 303-806-8886 to find out how he can help you to get the compensation that you deserve. That's Kevin Flesh, 303-806-8886. Call now and get back on the road.
When it's time to find a mechanic you can actually trust, ColoradoSelect.com is here to help. Colorado Select is a group of independently run member shops who all work together to change the standard of friendly customer service and expert auto care. To become a member of Colorado Select, a shop is fully vetted. John Rush personally checks out all of the industry certifications. He knows the owners, he assesses the techs, and he finds out what the customers have to say. He even makes sure that the garage itself is up to the high Colorado Select standards. That's how you know you can really trust all of the Colorado Select members with your vehicle. Visit any Colorado Select member shop and get the friendly, honest, expert service, all backed by an industry-leading 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty that will help keep your car or truck running for as long as possible. Find a shop nearest you at coloradoselect.com. Select the best at Colorado Select.
Entrust your retirement planning to a registered financial consultant with over 35 years of experience. Call David C. Sean of Householder Group for a free consultation at 720-482-1917. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
It's time to leave your safe space. This is Rush to Reason on KLZ 560.
All right, Rush to Reason, Denver's Afternoon Rush, KLZ 560. Kurt Rogers with us again, Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. Kurt, this isn't in your notes, but I'm going to throw this at you anyways because you can do this. Earlier in the week, we had Jordan Goodman on, and we were talking about, basically how to get your mortgage paid off, and he gave folks all sorts of ideas, one of them being, take your existing loan, go get a HELOC, use the HELOC to pay things down. And really what he was describing with the HELOC is essentially your asset manager loan, which is all one loan without a first and a HELOC. So talk to the listeners about, and I told everybody you'd be coming on and we talk about the asset manager, so talk about that.
It works a lot like it, but it takes a lot more maintenance and you don't get the full effect of it. First of all,
the first and the HELOC versus your asset manager.
If you have a first position and you get a second, I think you need to have a second mortgage if possible, if you don't have the asset. And I call that mortgage safe. You get a HELOC, but don't put any money on it and just let it sit there in case an emergency comes up or there's a problem with the economy. You can take the equity out of your house without taking it out of your savings. So that's my first belief.
Okay.
But the second position HELOC, it doesn't work to where when you put the money in the account, it immediately goes to the account. It goes into a checking account, and then you have to transfer it over. So if you're not paying attention, it's not working. That's number one. They don't understand how the system works. They'll use the HELOC as an overdraft protection for an additional checking account while charging you more fees. So the concept is there, but the cost is a whole lot higher. Plus, the HELOC is only good for maybe 5 to 10 years.
Right.
After that, you then go into principal and interest, where we've talked the asset manager is good for 30. So once it's paid to zero, you just go write a check and go take the money again. And you know how that works.
Yeah, so the asset manager loan is essentially what Jordan Goodman described, only it's all one loan, not a first, not a HELOC combined. It's one full loan, much like a HELOC, but still has a 30-year time frame.
Right, and there's actually a company out there that's trying to sell you a software program that can show you how to make it work like an asset manager, but it costs $3,500, the software program, and if you're still not paying attention to it, you don't get the effect.
So the asset manager loan makes all that a lot more streamlined.
A whole lot, for a lot less money.
A lot easier, right?
Yeah, it's a whole lot easier.
Okay, so what kind of credit and who do you need to be to do an asset manager loan?
700 credit score, been working for the last 2 years, 10% of it, whatever you want to borrow, you got in the bank. That's it.
10% of what you need to borrow in the
you
bank.
want to get a $300,000 loan, you got $30,000 somewhere.
Okay.
700 credit score, no bankruptcies, no foreclosures. You know, at a 700, you're probably not going to have those. And you're good to go.
So it's not a loan, and I want to make sure I'm clear on this. It's not a loan that every single person out there should have because you need to be disciplined in using this loan.
Yeah.
So if you're disciplined with money, it's a loan for you. And to Kurt's point a moment ago, you've got to have a few things going your direction, good credit score, a little bit of money in the bank, and so on. But if you've got that, it's a great loan.
It's an outstanding loan. The biggest thing, and you mentioned it, being disciplined with your money. If you see you have extra money in your checking account or if you're bouncing checks, this loan's not for you.
No.
It doesn't work that way because it's going to hurt you and not help you. But if you're disciplined, if you're able to see, well, I got an extra $500. If I leave it here, I can take a year off my mortgage. You start to understand the power of lazy money.
Right.
That's where this loan works.
Okay, so ways to save money and the amount of interest that you pay the lender. How do you do that? That's some of what we're talking about here, but with a conventional loan, how do we do that?
With a conventional. All the lenders nowadays are going out to loans that will go anywhere from 10 years to 30 at 1 year intervals.
Okay.
So you can get a 13 or an 18 or a 21 or a 28.
Correct.
You can get those kind of loans. Now, normally when you go to a shorter term, the rate goes down. But I'm going to give you an example. If you have a $350,000 loan, current rates today from Fannie Mae are 4.4. A year ago, they were 3.94.
Okay.
So they've moved up some, not a lot. If you decide to take that to a 26-year loan, you can pay off the home in 26 years. It'll cost you $100 more a month to do that.
Okay.
But here comes the big one. Let's say you decide to move it to a 21-year. Your payment's going to go up just over $300.
Okay.
But in 21 years, actually at that 21-year interval, the payoff on your home is over $70,000 less after the expense of the $300 a month.
Got it.
So you've built $70,000 in equity just by paying a few dollars more a month every month because you picked the shorter years. And that's not to say if you got a better term, would it not work for you? Or not a better term, but a better rate.
Right.
Because normally in that, the rates are going to be better.
So the days of just going in, getting a traditional 30-year mortgage are almost gone because you really can customize a loan to fit anybody's needs,
Yeah, we've
right?
talked about this in the past. We're the only country in the world that does 30. If you can look at when you're going out to finance a home and you can handle another couple $100, get the 30-year, what they call the term, but cut it down to 26, 27, 24. Look at what that payment is, and you'll save. It's amazing how much interest you pay because we deal in compound interest on our mortgages to where it re-amortizes every month. I actually ran one the other day where the customer on a $500,000 loan was paying $512,000 in interest over 30 years at 4.25%. So they were paying 100% of what they were borrowing back.
Right.
And they kept saying, well, it's 4.25%. I said, it's $500,000.
Right. Good point.
It's $500,000.
All right, so we're out of time. It runs by fast, as we're always on here. Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. I know you got disclaimers. Go ahead.
7400 East Arapahoe Road, Suite 109, Centennial, Colorado. We're regulated by the Division of Real Estate, NMLS 298191, and we are an equal credit lender. Our phone number is 720-895-0500.
All right, that is Affordable Interest Mortgage.